Woo! Hey, yo, Stevie, we got this. What more can I say? Much more, just listen. Spit like I'm pissing and elixir mixing. Moorish master MC Mike mysticism. Free minds locked in a cryptic prison. I saw penis, you homos, that's a sundial. No executive let alone Ray Bay run the trial. Standing on the square, no diamond in the air with his hands. No paperwork costing him grands. No friend begging, just vamp chest pegging. At 3:30 upside down circle 7 of the Nova cast. No hover mask on me. My Destiny's Child was Kelly Rowland, not B. Call her Beyonce. She was a bae once. Before you call it hate in your face, smoke from blunts filled with the maca. Not road type, but proper in persona. Got 90% of minds in comas. Open up your mind, your third eye blind. Rappers lack truth in those darkness rhymes. Open up your mind, your third eye blind. Rappers lack truth in those darkness rhymes. Rappers lack truth in those darkness rhymes. Rappers lack truth in those darkness rhymes. Many times I said it, still gotta say it. I don't spit on mics for radio to play it. Not looking to do shows cause new bros wanna hear rap, anything whack or pseudo. Tight shirt, skinny jeans, artists, nothing baggy. I pass most that rap, I'm the microphone cabbie. Niggas want Scooby snack tracks, I'm not shaggy. Only Moorish and 90s MCs make me happy. Build pyramids like Lodge Pro and Pappy. On the run eating cocoa bread and veggie patties. Thinking about what Taj Bay said about Ali. Fix misconceptions, distorted perceptions. Warped views have minds corkscrewed. Running from the sun but tan beds could force hues. Put a split in the illusion, quick and walk through. Put a split in the illusion, quick and talk through. Open up your mind, your third eye blind. Rappers lack truth in those darkness rhymes. Open up your mind, your third eye blind. Rappers lack truth in those darkness rhymes. Rappers lack truth in those darkness rhymes. Rappers lack truth in those darkness rhymes. Talk to my ancestral celestial more crew. Bring back 90% mental space for you. To exercise higher than electric wires. The self that's not lower, deceptive liars. Getting on microphones, spitting like retards. Lying like they got lines like runaway zebras. Got youths walking like they shit their trousers. Can't even run away acting like rebel rousers. High off the so-called weed, I call it bush and waste of money. No seeds, man, you a dummy. Smoking your life away, following Dunce Cap, whack rappers beefing over Biggie Blunt raps. On a bottleneck of liquor, they always sucking. Either with their boys or trannies with nuts tucked in. Hip-hop ain't old school, she's just a youngin'. Rap the preemie, stillborn gets all the loving. Thinking you got verses, save it for hearses. Commercial rap, deathbed, I'm your night nurses. Pull the plug 1 and 2, not daylight. No need to get mad, I'm just doing a favor. Open up your mind, your third eye blind. Rappers lack truth in those darkness rhymes. Open up your mind, your third eye blind. Rappers lack truth in those darkness rhymes. Rappers lack truth in those darkness rhymes. Rappers lack truth in those darkness rhymes.
Raka! North Star! That way. The North Star step here. Canaanland. Read off we pay every day. Uplift the fee cause we all pays. We enforce the law and we obey. Forefathers from before is still today. Reading my Quran and my Torah. Universal laws in more rays. Read 4 chapters, receive it 4 ways. Great divine love rules our verse. Before I circle blocks, man, I circle 7s first. You bust the image, but your rhymes hurt. Declare 13 disrespected earth. Love, but it's all in God's plan. Today's mathematics don't judge a man. Unity of life, embodiment of truth. I'm responsible for every deed, cause I seen the proof. No but true. X, do I have to draw it out for you? Cause nationality is not a color I can use. Jerry Bruce, standing on my square, even without shoes. On the highest authority, spirit of blue. Marcus Coffee, whirlwind times 2. The world's in the wind when the trumpet blew.
Stand up. big floor to ceiling, cut the light on and sit there and take a good hard look at yourself. You are the worst government, you know, and it took me a long time to get to understand that concept. I self-law am master. If I can govern myself, if I can govern my household, that's what I should be doing. Why should I walk out of my door and then leave everything that I know about myself in the house to go out and adopt something that I have no knowledge thereof? It makes no sense. So we need to stop asking that question. I ask myself this question: if not me, then who?
Death and wisdom, my friends, intelligent creatures, guardians of sacred knowledge, Olmec features, secrets of the afterlife, manifest the present day. Dirty moths and scoundrels lose their heads in a pleasant way. Deceit and deception, negative past thoughts, keeps awareness on point. Spirit messages never off. Inner realizations, encounter the higher selves. Next plane existence, explains my consistence. Without a foe, you never know, so past most resistant. Divinity, my twin flame, side chick and mistress, metaphysic, kabbalistic, almaroc mystic, patriarch, papist.
Raka! North Star! That way, the North Star statue, Canaanland walks. Read off, we pay every day. Uplift the fee, cause we all pays. We enforce the law, and we obey. Forefathers from before is still today. Reading my Quran and my Torah. Universal laws in more ways. Read 4 chapters, receive it 4 ways. Great divine love rules our verse. Before I circle blocks, man, I circle 7's first. You bust the image, but your rhymes hurt. Declare 13 disrespected earth. Love, but it's all in God's plan. Today's mathematics don't judge a man. Unity of life, embodiment of truth. I'm responsible for every deed, cause I seen the proof. No, but Drew X, do I have to draw it out for you? Cause nationality is not a color I can use. Jerry Spruce, standing on my square, even without shoes. On the highest authority, spirit of blue. Marcus Garvey, whirlwind times 2. The world's in the wind when the trumpet blew.
Stand up, go into your bathroom. If you got a big floor to ceiling, cut the light on and sit there and take a good hard look at yourself. You are the worst government, you know, and it took me a long time to get to understand that concept. I self-law am master. If I can govern myself, if I can govern my household, that's what I should be doing. Why should I walk out of my door and then leave everything that I know about myself in the house to go out and adopt something that I have no knowledge thereof? It makes no sense. So we need to stop asking that question. I ask myself this question: if not me, then who?
Death and wisdom, my friends, intelligent creatures, guardians of sacred knowledge, Olmec features, secrets of the afterlife, manifest the present day. Dirty moths and scoundrels lose their heads in a pleasant way. Deceit and deception, negative past thoughts, keeps awareness on point. Spirit messages never off. Inner realizations, encounter the higher selves. Next plane existence, explains my consistence. Without a foe, you never know, so past most resistant. Divinity, my twin flame, side chick and mistress, metaphysic, kabbalistic, almaroc mystic, patriarch, papistics, make my thoughts sadistic, so indigenous, call me Americanistic, invoking the ancestors, Saracen cryptic, suns on rotation, flows ecliptic, shatter all illusions, reveal the realistic, sitting in the dark, holding the light marvelous, recognize the artifice, skin so carbonous, hair so antenna, I feel them from Vienna, myriad of virtues, lessons, reptilian henna. Enlightenment seekers won't find it in mainstream. Focus as a laser, stay balanced like a beam. Not even a gymnast. Whenever I flip this, as above, so below, get out when within this. Don't think I'm a slave cause I speak in English. Drew, I'll leave the water, watch your flames get extinguished. Living in your higher, lower self is relinquished. Reputation of master teachers, call it distinguished.
Common sense was made before book sense. Canaanland Moors presents Common Sense Quick.
Legendary, bury me in the North Gates Cemetery, February the 4th days. Son of Mary, day ahead of my born day. Independence and law make civil of a lost case. With case laws, we break them down like Jericho. Keeping all my lions tamed, I'm Chris Jericho. Or keep a mask on deck, I'm Rey Mysterio. Fake pandemics announced over the radio. Annoyed with the game, the joys and the pains. I'm Rob Bass, mixing with rock the hard way. I was in a lost state. Prophets told me up right, brought me to a lost gate. Cooking like I'm Sorbet, rapping like I'm Denzel. Malcolm X, Deja Vu, Roman J, Israel. Had no but I lay in plain sight, but people still can't see it, so the snake's still showing up.
Common sense was made before book sense. Canaanland Moors presents Common Sense Quick.
Legendary, bury me in the North Gates Cemetery, February the 4th days. Son of Mary, day ahead of my born day. Independence and law make civil of a lost case. With case laws, we break them down like Jericho. Keeping all my lions tamed, I'm Chris Jericho. Or keep a mask on deck, I'm Rey Mysterio. Fake pandemics announced over the radio. Annoyed with the game, the joys and the pains. I'm Rob Bass, mixing with rock the hard way. I was in a lost state. Prophets told me up right, brought me to a lost gate. Cooking like I'm Sorbet, rapping like I'm Denzel. Malcolm X, Deja Vu, Roman J, Israel. Had no but I lay in plain sight, but people still can't see it, so the snake's still showing up. Stakes still high, so the race still going up. Warriors of the North Gate, we not slowing up. Born in the manger, sworn to be savior. Walk through the valley of the shadows of the death dip in slavery. Looking for light, the book of Genesis. Astral plane entrances, invoke the nemesis. Abstract images of past lives kicking in. Danger, running for your life. Finish him.
Morris Omar, key man or oracle. Using Trinity powers, decipher allegorical. Lost and metaphorical, holy books are metaphysic. Facts slap a dirty more or a Drew Ali critic. Calling him Thomas or Walter and get your face caved. Or cut like a close shave. Drowned in my brainwaves, squashed by heat waves. Activating Kundalini. Abyssinia invaded by Mussolini. Selassie in exile. Reptile in Genesis. Niggas appearing real. All I see is false evidence. VAR feminists, stomped on by elephants. More like go prejudice but want Moorish benefits. When you feel the pole magnetic resonance. Apis horns of the sacred book all maleficent. Great cosmic mothers, return to blessedness. No pestilence, ace all the testaments. Tap into remembrance, never to forget again. Use energy right, not put spell effects on men. Wandering the earth plane with no they live shades. Keeps you a mental slave as the horizon fades. It's been decades since Christian crusades. Not enough rebellions, too many vigil bouquets. Holding on to the fence, burning on doomsday. War ruled by Mars, it might be on a Tuesday.
Canaanland Moors presents Common Sense Quick. What we do here is we add some common sense thinking to everyday situations or comments that may arise. Want to give it a try?
Bet they won't. Bet you. You wouldn't dare. But you're lucky. Honors to Brother Sheldon L. for giving the Moors the 77-day challenge of stop doing whatever BS that you're doing or do something to elevate yourself. 77 days is day number 3. So, honors to all the Moors worldwide.
on their 77 challenge. So one of my challenges was not to cuss anybody out and stuff like that for 77 days. So any trolls and all that stuff, you're just getting blocked. We're not even having conversations with you people. Any of you more haters or whoever else, people like to leave comments and stuff like that, leave all the stuff you want, because this is your last chance. Because we're on the Hajj, 77 days, day 3, honors to all the Moors worldwide. So we're gonna make everything a lesson instead of, cussing everybody out. So the United States has been found guilty of 5 counts of genocide. And then they show you the UN building. They show you the UN building. They say that the United States has been found guilty of 5 counts of genocide. The media is actively ignoring this, but the US has just been found guilty of 5 counts of genocide. 70 years ago, W.E.B. Du Bois and later on Malcolm X brought to the UN a petition, "We charge genocide." An international panel of jurists have just now ruled that the US is guilty on all 5 counts. 1. Police killings of black, brown, and indigenous people. 2. Hyper mass incarcerations of black, brown, and indigenous people. 3. Political incarceration of civil rights / national liberation era revolutionaries and activists, as well as present-day activists. 4. Environmental racism and its impact, disparities, and its impact on black, brown, and indigenous people. 5. Public health racism and its traumatic impacts. The U.S. is guilty of genocide. We demand justice. So, let's go back. Start at the top. Let's see how real it is. So 70 years ago, W.E.B. Du Bois and later on Malcolm X brought to the UN a petition, "We charge genocide." An international panel of jurists have just now ruled that the US is guilty on all 5 counts. So the first thing we'll start with is 70. So you're telling me since 70 years ago, you've been begging these Europeans for some whatever. And all these guys and all these women have been talking this stuff for 70 years. U.S. is finally found guilty. And you're talking about 5 counts? And you're promoting something? What are you really promoting? What's 5 counts? All these people murdered, and you're going to pick 5 people out of all these people murdered as who should get compensation? Now, what they're not going to tell you is that when you go read the UN documents, all the UN documents that they're complaining to Europeans about, they got human rights and all this, all the documents say you have a right to a nationality. 7 years ago, they knew this. Remember, 7 years ago, they knew W.E.B. Du Bois, Malcolm X, all the go to the UN people read the UN documents in order to go there. In the documents, it says you have a right to a nationality. Now, when they say somebody's guilty of counts, and the counts are against black, brown, indigenous, mass incarcerated, liberation, revolutionary, activists, environmentalists, all that, those are nationalities. Period. So if they're not nationalities, then human rights don't apply to them. Isn't that simple? So if human rights don't apply to them, wouldn't that be why they're getting the mistreatments and all this stuff that they're complaining about? Isn't that obviously why? All right. So if that's why, now we see the power of having a nationality. Because in the 1920s, Noble Drew Ali was telling them about nationality. And that we're not Negro, black, colored, and all the other stuff that we think that's who we are. And that's all it takes. That one switch to flick. Just one flick, just turn the nationality switch. That's all. And we could do what we're supposed to do and get what we're supposed to get the way that it's supposed to happen, because we're doing it from a nationality. We're not doing it from black, brown, indigenous people, whatever, because for 70 years, they've been trying that. And it's obviously not working. Obviously, all the stuff they've been doing for the past 70 years hasn't worked. They got Chicago people complaining about guns that they put in the street. You know what Malcolm X chickens come home to roost and stuff like that? You see how tables turn? But, you know, we're not supposed to cuss anybody out and stuff. We're supposed to break this stuff down. So when we go back, December 17th, 1951, we charge genocide. Petition submitted to the United Nations. Paul Robeson and William Patterson, in December 17, 1951, petitioned the UN with 100 signatures that there's some BS going on in the US, you guys have to do something. W.E. Du Bois and the whole crew. When you go to 1955, Robeson lost court appeal. What court appeal? What do you mean? What we talk about court appeals and stuff like that? Are you not talking about UN stuff that happened? What happened to the going to the UN and petitions and all that? Was there a response? Was there no response? And if there was no response, why? Maybe because they went there without a nationality. And the only individual who had any credibility or whatever was El Hajj Malik El Shabazz, who people call Malcolm X, because they don't know that he proclaimed his nationality when he took the Hajj. And they told him over there, you're not from over here. Your Hajj is over there. What are you doing over here? And they got him out of the way because he was teaching about you're not Negro and all that. He was teaching about that goes back to necro and it means dead. The same thing that Noble Drew Ali was saying in the 20s. But no, they're not going to call him Malik El. They're going to call him Malcolm X. As if there's such a thing as Malcolm X. That's not real. That's a fiction. He said he called himself Malcolm X because you people are... Oh yeah, we're not supposed to cuss anybody out. So... Paul Robeson lost court appeal. How are you going to UN and losing court appeals? On August 16th, 1955, Paul Robeson lost his court appeal to have the U.S. State Department grant him a passport. An internationally renowned singer, actor, and speaker, Robeson was denied the right of the U.S. government to international travel in 1950 because of his political beliefs. Why? Because he's their ward. He's their ward. He's their Negro. They made him because he's using their name. It's not nationality. He's a Moor. He's a Moor. He's supposed to be Eller Bay or something like that. You know, the Robeson. Are you Robeson? Or are you the son? You're supposed to be the father of this. Not a son. Right? So you know they were Moors. Paul Robeson was one of the most important figures of the 20th century. He was a Renaissance man. Look them up. Renaissance men. Remember, we're talking about people going to the UN in black status and all that stuff, but they're a Renaissance man? You know what it means to be a Renaissance man? That's not... Look up Renaissance men. And then go deeper, look at it metaphysically. What's a metaphysical Renaissance man? What's a Masonic Renaissance man? They want a quote-unquote Renaissance man for you. And this is the guy who went to the UN for all the Negroes who are getting whatever. And then he's a Renaissance man and he went as a Negro to the UN. They opened the door. They actually said, hey, how you doing? And they said, yeah, we're the black guys and we're here to file a petition because you're not putting down a class action lawsuit to these people. You get to walk in the door of the UN to get whatever for black people. And you go in there with a petition. Now, was that because of ignorance? Or was he a sent agent? Sent to lead you astray? Are you going all up in the UN in a dead status, as if these people are going to take you serious, complaining to them, aka petition, when you should be suing them? It should have been a lawsuit for deprivation of rights, signed by these 100 people with El Bay and all that stuff on it. Not a petition. even though they're so dumb or whatever, all they have to do is just, oh yeah, we can't cuss people out. So when they speak about the media is actively ignoring this, the indigenous black and brown and black people, they're suffering. And we finally got our foot in the door to this 2021. You got your foot in the door in the 50s. What you mean? What are you excited about? What you mean it took 7 years to get your foot in the door again? That's what's up. You can't be telling me that's where it's at. Now, what they're not telling you is that it's not even some UN stuff. It's not even some UN. When they talk about commission and all this stuff, they're not talking about UN. They're talking about their little Negro stuff that they have. Bait and hooking you. Because you want to play black games. Recognizing that killings and maimings of unarmed black people by police authorities in the United States escalates unabated, and that effective domestic remedies are either non-existent or exacerbated by the policies of the federal government of the United States. The International Association of Democratic Lawyers, the National Conference of Black Lawyers, and the National Lawyers Guild decided to convene this International Commission of Inquiry. International Association of Democratic Lawyers? No, you Democratic lawyers when this is a republic. And anybody who's claiming allegiance to the corporate jurisdiction, they better be saying that they're a republic. If not, they're criminal. National Conference of Black Lawyers? A lawyer is an officer of the court, and the court is part of the corporate jurisdiction. That's why anytime you go there, all they want is your finance. And if you don't pay, then you're it. Then they take the body because it's their body. You got a license, don't you? You got a passport. You got whatever from some entity that's registered with them but wasn't created by you. And then you have officers of the court saying that they're standing up for some rights or something like that. Well, they can't stand up for rights. They're an officer of the court. They don't, whatever side that they're on doesn't matter. That's why they want their retainer. And if you're wise to the game, you hit them with pro bono, and then now they're stuck because they gotta do it. They gotta do it pro bono. They can't really play around like, give me 20 grand. But if you don't have the knowledge, then yeah, you know, you're you gotta pay 50 up front. If you win. National Lawyers Guild. What national if it's black? It can't be an adjective and then say national. Right? There's no national park. There's a park. It's not a national park. It's a park. The park's part of the land. Whatever the land is, that's what the park is. The national implies nation. Nation implies nationality. But if you're calling yourself black and brown people and all these other fictions, then you're not national anything. It's nothing personal. That's just what it is. You can't be national if you're not a national. You're not going to say you're national just because of some United States federal government when that's Walmart. Right? That's Walmart, the government. Federal government on top of that. And then they get you lost. Because now you don't even know where you are. You think that they're talking about rights because they say it, when really what they're saying is putting you in the jurisdiction that you're trying to get yourself out of. Because they're officers of the court. They agree that they're adjectives. If they agree that they're adjectives and they don't want to be a nation, they're not for you. They're for the people who are trying to enslave you, which they already got the mind, so the physical is easy. And you have to look at this like, when you're in the illusion, you're really Avatar, just going through the thing, make it back to the house. It's crazy out there. Zombies jumping out and all this. It's crazy. Right now it's what's going on. It's the stuff that they've been showing. It's going on right now. Like corporate takeover and all that stuff. We're renting airspace to so it's set up. And the game is on you. You better know about your nationality. You don't want to know anything else. At least know something with regard to your nationality. Right, so they had their we charge genocide. All in a dead status. We charge genocide. The historic petition to the United Nations for relief from a crime of the United States government against the Negro people. Oh, that's the first line. This stuff is done before. They don't have to go further. The fact that it says Negro there, they don't have to go further. And then people from today are tying themselves to that, not knowing that they're bringing Negro with them when they bring all this stuff to the forefront. They're also bringing the Negro mentality with them. And all they got to do is just take out the Negro and put Moorish people there. That makes this a whole different petition. But if it's a Moor, it wouldn't be a petition. So it's still, they're going to be looking at it like, well, why are the Moors at the petition? They're the Moors and they're just petitioning? They obviously don't know that this is their vast estate. They still think that United States and Canada and all that. They haven't gotten to the place where, yes, the East is over here too. The East is over here too. If the map's upside down, then it's the genocide is against the indigenous people of the planet who are Moors. They're mislabeled Negroes and blacks and all these other fictions. But once you say Moors or Moorish, everything is going to fall into our hands. There's nothing else to happen. The whole world is waiting. But we want to play Negro games. You want to have a belt on, but the belt isn't doing anything. The belt's just on for nothing. Just have a belt for no reason. But it's there. But it's useless. But it's there, but it's useless. And every second you're pulling up your pants or whatever. Every second. But you just wouldn't just pull the belt. That's all. Just pull the belt. Oh yeah, but then it can't pull the belt because it fell into the game where all you got is skinny jeans now, so you can't even get it up to your waist. And then you're going to have capris on. The Negro people are never going to get it, no matter what. Copyright 1951. Right? Noble Drawley copyright 1913. You're not Negro, black, colored, or Ethiopian. Your nationality was stripped from you. And you have to regain your lost estate. But it's going to be in a battle that can't be told in words. And it's going down. And as you see, your boys who've been back in your federal government and all that stuff, they've been throwing you under the bus unless you're missing something. They've been through you under the bus. So you should have a way of doing for yourself, because these people aren't playing games. They're not playing games. Just a reminder. Right, charging genocide from a civil rights Congress. I thought it's human rights stuff. We're just talking about violations against rights and all that stuff. Why would this be a civil rights Congress? What shouldn't it say human rights there? What shouldn't be a human rights Congress? Let's look at this for real. We're going to the UN, right? We're going to the UN to put down something. Oh yeah, there's Obi. To put down something. That's the real one. He's the Obi. We're going to go put down a petition, because this is what they did. So we're going to go put down a petition to the UN. The body of the petition is speaking to unconstitutional violations of rights against a certain people. But the presentation of this is from a civil rights Congress, not a human rights Congress. Right? It most definitely should be a human rights Congress. If they're talking all this human rights, I mean, you know, this is logic. We don't need a law dictionary for that. So are they doing this because of ignorance, or are they playing you? Because remember, this is the forefather of the we're gonna get our whatever for all the stuff against the black people. This is the foundation of that. Because they made it to the office of the UN. And just like that, how there's crickets, because there's nothing for them to show. Yeah, they went, but let them show you something. Oh yeah, we got we charged for genocide 1950s. These modern Europeans don't care about your complaining. If you're gonna complain, it better be a suit, or stop complaining and figure some stuff out a different way. Because this petitioning stuff is getting our people nowhere. And it's all the leaders just has the people spinning wheels. All they get their grant money and all that stuff and live the life. Right? And conditions getting worse. Now remember, listen to the language. Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of the Crime of Genocide, Article 2, adopted December 9th, 1948. In the present convention, genocide means any of the following acts committed with intent to destroy in whole or in part a national, ethnical, racial, or religious group. As such, killing members of the group, causing serious bodily or mental harm to members of the group, deliberately inflicting on the group conditions of life calculating to bring about a physical destruction in whole or in part, imposing measures intended to prevent births within the group, forcibly transferring children of the group to another group. This is 48. Before they went. And it's telling them national. Off the top, national. Because there's pre-existing conventions and articles of documents that speak to the point of nationality being required and it being a right that no one can take from you. The problem is it can't be given to you. This is where, again, it came into Drew Ali telling you to proclaim it. Declare it. Be yourself. So if you really be yourself, you figure this stuff out. Article 3. The following acts shall be punishable: genocide, conspiracy to commit genocide, direct and public incitement to commit genocide, attempt to commit genocide, complicity in genocide. Remember, all this is 48. So they're because they're lawyers and all this, they know how to use the language, because their whole aim is to have the people's mind in a place of being a victim, and these atrocities happen to you. So there must be some type of response from them so you can. That's not how it works. Because once you're going in there in a dead status, you're allowing killing of the members of the group to happen. You're allowing genocide to happen. You're allowing serious bodily or mental harm to happen. You're allowing it. Because ask any other nationals. Anybody else that has a nationality, I guarantee you they have a community and all that. They have stores in them. They have living quarters in them. It's just their people, and they just came here yesterday. Right? They just came here. And they are locked there in Parliament. And any quote unquote blacks in there, just a token Negro. Playing the little black game. So this is what they're presenting to start you off, to get you ready for the ride of why it is genocide. They forgot to tell the people that genocide means any of the following acts committed with intent to destroy in whole or in part a national group. National implies nationality. If you're hearing national and thinking about something else other than nationality, you're absolutely throwing yourself off. Because a national is a status. Just like a ward is a status. National is an actual status. Now, like, you can't look at the rental car company because they call themselves national. That means that that's to do with a nation. No, it doesn't. That's a rental company. That has nothing to do with a nation. That's a fiction calling itself national. Right? But the actual being that is part of a nation is a national. And majority of nations are expected to be acknowledged by their flag. right? And all this stuff here that they're going to be talking about, all this, the law and indictment, the evidence, the summary, and all that. As soon as they start talking about black people, they played themselves. As soon as they start talking about Negroes, they played themselves. As soon as they talk about indigenous or any other adjectives, they played themselves, and this is no longer a proper discussion. Because the claimant must have a nationality in order to make the claim. It can't be done as a ward. And if it's done as a ward, it has to be through a lawyer, which is why they always have lawyers and stuff like that in there. The guy to do the papers. But it's not about lawyer. So he still works for the court. It's about being competent in law. So you don't need them. The review of the case and an offer of proof, giving something of the scope and historical background of the genocide being committed against the Negro people of the United States. Once they say Negro of the United States, they're in the jurisdiction. No one has to listen to them at this point. This is part one. You haven't got anywhere yet. Part one, and it's already over. Because they played the game of the Negro. They went Negro for it. Of all the names to choose to represent these people of the so-called United States, they said Negro. Right? And again, was it done out of ignorance, or were they playing you? And if people are Renaissance men and all that, I don't think they are ignorant of national principles. If all these people are lawyers and they got a law dictionary, there's no way that they don't know. There's absolutely no way that they don't know. And all this hoop jumping that they have our people doing, this pretended liberation, to the General Assembly of the United Nations, the responsibility of being the first in history to charge the government of the United States of America with the crime of genocide is not one your petitioners take lightly. The responsibility is particularly grave when citizens must charge their own government with mass murder of its own nationals, with institutionalized oppression and persistent slaughter of the Negro people in the United States on a basis of race, a crime abhorred by mankind and prohibited by the conscience of the world as expressed in the Convention of the Prevention of the Punishment of the Crime of Genocide, 1948, December 9th.